Hello, everybody.
It's almost the end of the show.
Is that wishful thinking, or did Dawn show up and I didn't notice?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Stupid O'Clock. I'm your co-host, John Scarborough. With me tonight is the ever-lovely Dan Hollifield, Joe Dog McKeel, purveyor of fine conventions, and Joe Bachman, who makes a living tearing up roads and putting them back together again, and Rich.
Sounds like he's rolling dice.
Or crushing ice.
Filling the med tray for the week.
Oh, you're talking about kiwi and strawberry and gin? Try it with a good silver rum.
Well, let me get my hand out of the way. It just so happened it's the same color. It's the same color as my lighter.
Let's throw a howdy out to Donna, Zach, and Carl.
Zach is here early. Yeah.
Yes, Zach, I sent you a link on Discord.
So did I.
Yeah,
he's got no excuse.
No excuses whatsoever. Unless they're launching a rocket as we speak, you better get in here.
Oh,
With
thank
my
you,
luck, they're
Facebook.
launching a rocket, and I don't know about it.
Facebook just reminded me, be ready to start my show.
Isn't I don't want to enough of an excuse?
Did it say whether it was Thursday night show or tonight's?
It was tonight's show.
Oh, okay.
They at least get the day right.
Now, let me see if I got Zach is back in Canada, yes?
Yes.
After his long trip to Texas and Florida and parts of
The Mustang Ranch.
Yeah. Okay. Have you guys heard? This has been in the news lately. I'll throw this subject out here. Apparently, there have been a lot of whistleblowers. Oh, guess what?
We got a Zach.
There he is. How's it going?
So
Going
he's
good,
back
going
in
good.
he's back in Command Center, Canada.
Oh, no, thank you.
What?
It's cold.
It is? Even with the wildfires?
We have a heat warning, and I'm still cold.
That's Canada for you.
Canada has a heat warning when it gets up to 70.
The snow is melting. Yes.
Pretty much.
It's too early to hit. I've already played it.
Ta-da! Oh, Lord. That always gives me flashbacks to Rowan and Martin's laugh-in.
Doesn't it? That's just
Yeah.
Now wait a minute. Show of hands. How many people remember Rowan and Martin's laugh-in?
Well, obviously I do. I was
No,
there when it was
Dawn, you
first
remember
run.
Laugh-In. Oh, in reruns. Okay, no, it's like original run. But
No, I'm first run.
You've seen it.
First
It
run.
counts.
Yeah.
So.
Goldie Hawn.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
For some reason, I remember that they had the two shows, and this is such a paradox. They had the Lawrence Welk show, followed by Laugh-In.
I thought Lawrence Welk was PBS.
No,
Most of the time, that's where I saw it. What would have been a good coupling would have been the Smothers Brothers and Laugh-In.
Yeah.
Who's the Smothers brother? No, he's in. I do.
I think a good lineup would be Lawrence Welk, Hee Haw, then Laugh-In.
You forgot Flip Wilson.
Didn't I never forget Flip Wilson? No.
That was, and the Tony Orlando and Don show.
Uh-huh.
And
Mac
Donnie and Marie,
Davis had one.
the Osmond show,
Uh,
the Jackson 5.
In the early 70s.
Everybody that had a hit song had a variety show in the
Yeah.
70s. It was
That's when
mandatory.
variety shows were good. Why do you think I watched them on the rerun?
Don Rickles had a variety show.
He also had a
And he doesn't
sitcom.
sing. It's-
No, but he's very entertaining.
Oh, have y'all seen it's on YouTube. It was a Johnny Carson clip, and Johnny's sitting there, and normally you know how he would tap the pencil on his cigarette box.
Uh-huh.
He tapped his pencil on the cigarette box, and it broke, and he went, "What the?"
and Don Rickles had co-hosted
The night
show.
before, and broke it.
and broke his cigarette box. So they got a mobile camera and went over. Don Rickles was filming CPO Sharkey
In the next room.
studio over. Went over in the middle of their taping with a video camera
And the broken cigarette box.
and the broken cigarette box. and Rickles thought Johnny Carson was going to kick his butt.
Which
And
was a
at the-
definite possibility at the time.
And at the time, Johnny Carson was live, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, maybe. They said it was. It had a studio audience. They said it was live.
Yeah.
But
But
I'm
you
pretty
got to realize 11 o'clock in
In New York.
California is 11 o'clock for
yeah,
our
for us,
time is
what,
8 o'clock there. I mean, that's prime time. That's when they film those things. Yeah, that was funny.
They just don't make television like that anymore.
No.
Well, to be fair, Will Smith did smack the heck out of Chris Rock at the Academy Awards and got in trouble for it. I mean, Johnny Carson had done it. No one would have cared. He's gold.
They'd have been on his side. Yeah.
Well, actually, there was an old movie that was nearly word for word what Will Smith did, that came out like 5-6 years ago.
Now, before I get started, I'm going to ask Zach, you got any rocket news? Or is it? I know they put a bunch more Starlink satellites up today.
That's a really good question. I've been head down in our systems and stuff since yesterday, so no.
Yeah, I watched the Ariane 5, which was the last Ariane 5. They're now
Okay, yes,
going
that
to
would be
Ariane-
news. Yes.
They're going to Ariane 6s.
Yeah. No more Ariane 5.
Oh,
sadly.
look at this, John. Hello, Justin Payne. Glad you're here. Actually, I remember talking to you at the Summerween Festival
Ah,
a couple weeks back. Thanks for dropping in. We appreciate seeing you.
Would that
cool.
be just in the nick of time?
Uh,
No,
Sorry, that was a stretch.
no, that would be just in case.
but yeah, Justin was pretty cool. He was the only one out at Summerween wearing a kilt. He was the smartest man in the crowd.
Everybody thinks kilts are either silly or sexy until it's summertime, and you realize that's a nice breeze.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, dang, it's awful early.
yeah. What?
It's awful early to be this late. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Zach.
I'm gonna finish.
Zach, any rockets? Or can we don't? Okay.
Not unless you got,
Yeah.
not unless you got something. I can talk about a GitLab outage, but that's about it.
Oh, what?
ST's going up, but
A
Well,
GitLab
what about-
outage.
A couple of Saturn missile rocket batteries have gone off around here.
Oh, what about that huge piece of stainless steel they moved?
Yeah, they moved they've been moving a whole bunch of the flame diverter water fountain by Bellagio
Yeah.
system under the orbital launch mount. So I really want to see them put a coating system to it and just, actually do like a water show.
it's
So
only a matter
there's
of time.
There's the big darn rocket with the big tower and the chopsticks, and there's water shooting up all around.
Well, just think about the big tower in, is it Dubai? They've got huge fountains out front, and then they like up the tower put fireworks. So just imagine you're launching the world's most powerful, largest rocket ever with people. And in the final 10 seconds of countdown, you do big firework display around it. The water fountains go off. There's like smoke cannons. It could be a whole thing.
laser show on the side of the rocket.
Hey.
Well, that's where you have to project it. They already do the projection on the side of the high bay.
Yeah. Oh, I got this, Zach. Do the fireworks to burn off any stray methane.
You don't want another booster 4?
Speaking of Booster 4.
I know this is going to sound politically incorrect, but by God, I'm going to say it anyway. Can you imagine that a bunch of people were trying to cross the border in the Brownsville, Texas timeframe when Super Heavy launched?
Oh, they were. It's happened multiple times. They've had to delay hops because Steve and Fred became walking down the field behind the rocket when it was fully fueled and like at T-minus 30 seconds. They're like, oh, there's people there. That's not good.
Yeah, or the two guys coming down the road with the fishing poles.
And then the Border Patrol confiscated the video from
Lab Padre.
Lab Padre. That was hilarious.
I want to know how many incidences have happened that we don't know about. And they're like, they're far enough away.
Yeah.
That wall ends about, I don't know. The border wall ends probably 10, 12 miles from Starbase. And the water's not that far across.
Yeah. No. And Zach, you brought up Booster 4.
Reminds me of that video of the dog I shared.
What happened to the dog?
How do you share a dog?
Well, that's easy, but if there's a video of a dog blowing up, I don't want to see it.
Oh, the dog grabbing the firework?
Yes.
And running in the house?
Only in America.
Let's hope the gas stove wasn't on.
And what was so funny, the guy went in and threw it out and it started shooting at the doghouse, and everybody's thinking, oh, yeah, dog's getting payback. Then all of a sudden, when it quit, the dog comes out of the doghouse.
All right. If you don't believe me when I tell this story, you can look it up on the internet because it is there. This one won Darwin Award. This was an honorable mention for the Darwin Award. Guy takes his brand new $50,000 4x4 truck out onto the ice to go ice fishing. Takes their dog with him. He thinks it'll be a great idea to blow a hole in the ice with a stick of dynamite. Lights the dynamite, runs out, got a nice long fuse on it, lights the dynamite, tosses it way out on the ice, runs back to the truck. Dog takes off, grabs the dynamite, comes running back to the truck. Okay. Now, the reason they're blowing up the ice, they want to do some duck hunting. All right, so they want to blow up the ice so the ducks will land in the water. So the guy grabs the shotgun out of the truck, starts shooting at the dog so it won't bring the dynamite back. Wounds the dog. Dog runs under the truck with the dynamite in its mouth to hide from the gunfire. Dynamite goes off. We don't know what happened to the dog, but we can assume it was not good. And the guy had to put in an insurance claim for a brand new, hadn't owned it a week, $50,000 4x4 truck. Then had to explain why he was duck hunting with dynamite. Only in Canada, Zach.
No, valid.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was in Canada.
That
It
sounds more
probably
like
was.
Michigan man to me.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. It definitely got a Wisconsin flavor to it. I'm sorry.
Hey,
It did sound rather cheesy.
Sorry, Rich, I couldn't resist. I have to go there though.
it sounds like something my father would have done.
Would make Wisconsin even more feasible. No, I was talking about the video of the dog, the firecracker that I had posted.
Oh, Zach, did you hear about the guy down here in the U.S. Been arrested for attacking the model from Feet Finder?
No.
Yeah. She had a deformed foot, and he was pissed off about it. Pinky didn't have any pinky toes. Born without pinky toes. His defense is he's lactose intolerant.
On
Joe.
that note, good night, everybody.
Really, that didn't go over very well in the green room. Why are you telling it here in public?
Really. Joe.
No. Rich said, Rich liked that one.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
You know how we make jokes about Florida man?
Yeah.
Okay. Zach is Canadian, and you, Joe Dog McKeel, are the reason that Canadians look upon the entire 48 continental states as Florida.
I plead the fifth.
If I can get Alaska and Hawaii in there, I'll be happy.
No.
Too many more jokes like that from Joe Dog and we need to drink the fifth.
Alaska is
two different
basically
worlds.
Canada. Hawaii is a different country.
I've only got so much liquor. Shut up.
Yeah, Hawaii is a tourist destination, and Alaska is
Russia.
Canada West.
no. Alaska's Alaska. That's
It's a DMZ between Canada and Russia. Just with a lot of M in it.
When your school bus is bear proof, okay, that's Alaska. When it's so cold that your entire town lives in one large building. Okay, That's Alaska.
That's Nunavut.
I can't remember
Yeah.
the name of the town, but there is a
Yeah.
town. It is so cold. They just built one big building. Looks like a apartment complex kind of thing. Looks like some sort of like hotel you'd see down on the beach in Daytona, Florida, or something.
Well, they do have other buildings away from the high rise, but they built tunnels from the basement of the high rise to get to it, so people didn't have to walk outside in the wintertime.
And the entire it's like the entire government is on the second floor of the building. All the stores are on the first floor of the building. And the people live in 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
And it's pretty nice building, actually.
I don't know. It's something about it gives me that Soviet era creep thing going on because it's just one big block built. It's a no frills building. It's just one big
It's
block.
actually that brownish, grayish, taupe colored thing with some windows in it.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yes, I just used the word taupe.
there's just some if you live in a building like an apartment building like something like that and it doesn't have decks, which of course a deck in Alaska is worthless. It's just another ice box.
It's asking for a snowstorm to pretty much rip it from the side of the building. Yeah. Oh, I do remember from the video I saw, they had a problem with the garage built into the ground floor. Bears would walk up and trigger the electric eye to open the garage door that the cars would use to drive. So they would regularly have to check to see if there was a bear in the freaking garage.
He's a Kodiak feller, about 19 feet tall, come running up over the hill.
Bigger than my Land Rover.
I was stationed in Berlin. And in West Berlin, you had the three powers: Britain, France, and the United States. And of course,
I was
East
so glad you
Berlin
didn't
was
include
Russia.
Austin.
And some British guy, he was a British soldier, got in an argument in the bar one night with me and says, "You Americans don't need all those guns." I said, "How do you know?" "Nobody needs those kinds of guns." I says, "You don't understand. You're from England. Have you ever been to the United States?" He goes, "No." I says, "We have bears." Okay. We have black bears, brown bears, grizzly bears, Kodiak grizzly bears, and polar bears.
And
we have 5 different flavors of bear.
6.
What's the 6th one?
A polsey.
A what?
They're calling them polsies. The polar bears and the grizzly bears are mating and producing offspring.
How could that go wrong?
Well, hybrid vigor, they're going to be some
I don't
stout
know if it
bears.
I don't know if it could go wrong, but it sounds like a great horror movie. It's like Sharknado, or
Well, and that's not all of it. I mean, we have wild boar,
mountain
have
lions,
mountain lions.
pumas,
Yep.
rattlesnakes, coral
hey.
snakes, water moccasins.
You show me a
copperheads.
rattlesnake, I'll show you a reason to own a shotgun.
Oh, y'all didn't see the video I posted? They finally depicted a reason I'll move out of my house. And the snake falls through the ceiling.
I think there was more than one up there.
Hey,
No, that
we
was
have-
one.
we have bullets for guns just for snakes. Okay.
Snake shot, yes, indeed. I've actually got that in 45 long Colt and 38 caliber.
Oh. No, the reason the British can't understand why we've got guns because of them.
This may
Tell
come
me
as a
I'm
shock-
wrong.
Yeah, this may come as a shock to you, but the
It's
reason we own guns,
undiplomatic, but you're right.
the reason we own guns is because it's none of your damn business. Now, since Zach's here, we'll ask Zach. Okay, they're starting that whole anti-gun thing up in Canada.
Starting.
Starting, yeah.
Handguns
Again?
are handguns are illegal across the entire board across the country. You cannot buy, sell, trade, gift, anything. Period.
Huh.
Yeah, the smallest gun is the one that they targeted first.
Yeah, the one that's the
Well-
hardest to locate. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, handguns are the ones that are mostly used in crimes. So, but
This
they're
was-
also used. That's also the one that most people use to defend themselves from crimes. So,
Yeah. It was
Unless,
Well,
unless you're the idiot down the street from me that decided to pull out an AR-15 to try and rob somebody.
That's hardly concealable. Somebody should have saw that one coming.
Is
He's
it
limping up
Kentucky?
to the store?
Is it Kentucky that you can't carry a concealed weapon longer than 6 feet?
You got me there on that one.
No, it's Kentucky or Arkansas or Missouri or Virginia or West Virginia, but you cannot carry a concealed weapon longer than 6 feet.
I want to know how you conceal a weapon longer than 6
there
feet.
was it.
Would you like to know?
Joe, you can help me with this one.
I ain't
there,
that tall.
there was an army store on Hickson Pike. It's over by the utility district. I'm trying to remember. It's now karate, or was forever a karate studio. It was over there by Central Baptist Church and the Steak and
Oh,
Shake.
Big Daddy's Pawn.
somewhere in that area. It was across on the north side of the Hickson Pike there,
Oh.
and there was an army store in there for forever.
The AutoZone Center.
I think that's the AutoZone Center now. Is in that
Yeah.
same strip mall.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I know where you're talking about.
They had, and I love this thing. Back when I was in high school, they had this thing. They had a Colt Python 357 Magnum with a 15-inch barrel.
You can get a good accuracy out of that one, I'll tell you right now.
Other than the fact that it had this ridiculously long barrel, it was not modified in any way, shape, or form. Didn't have a buttstock or a front grip or anything. It was a revolver with a 15-inch barrel.
That's what Rick carried in Walking Dead.
No, well, he carried a Colt Anaconda, which was next step. The Python was 37. The Anaconda was the 44 Magnum.
Okay. Because everybody calls it the Python.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to look that up. I was pretty sure it was an Anaconda, but it could have been a Python. It's hard to tell sometimes because Joe, you've met Norman Redis, right?
No, not yet.
Okay. He comes up to about here on me.
Short feller.
It's short fellow, which makes every weapon he carries looks huge. And of course, the guy who plays Rick is about my size, so
He is 6'2".
I don't think he's that tall. But
Yeah.
I don't remember him being that much taller than me. But I might be wrong. I was drinking at the time, to be honest. In my defense, I was drinking.
Levitating. You were levitating at the time.
Now
That's why you look shorter.
I have heard Norman Reedus quite often frequents the Nick and Norman downtown. It's Dan, Nick and Norman is a barbecue restaurant.
Okay.
Guess who one of the owners is?
Norman Reedus, the other's Greg Nicotero.
Okay. I
It's
thought it was just a pun off of the Thin Man movies, but I'm glad to have that extra tidbit of information.
yeah, your pulled pork plate is $18.
Better be a big freaking plate.
You know, for that kind of money, I'm going to fire up the smoker grill. I'm just say that right there.
It's a 5-star barbecue restaurant.
With that kind of price, it better be.
Mhm.
And I
You know,
bet you
back-
the mom and pop places around town are better.
Going back to the Colt Python for a second, I just decided to look it up real quick, and Colt on their website has 3 different versions: a 3-inch
Right.
barrel, 4 1/4-inch barrel, and a 6-inch barrel right now.
Correct.
And if you look at them, the 4 1/4-inch and the 6-inch only show restrictions for Massachusetts and California. The 3-inch barrel is restricted in Washington, D.C.
Like
So you can have
everything
2
else.
longer ones, but you can't have the short one.
Correct. They don't want it to go
And when it comes to a post-apocalyptic situation, 357 ammunition is usually easier to scrounge than 44 Magnum
well.
in
you got to-
most stories.
you got one big advantage with 327 is it can handle any 38 ammo.
There was a company that was putting out something called a Medusa, and it came with little clips for the revolver cylinder, and with those clips
Half
and
moon
some
clips.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
no, no. You could use rimless ammo basically with those
Yeah.
clips.
You
But
could put
it
9mm,
would you could put any
any 38.
any 38 caliber or any 38 .38 of an inch ammo
Nine-
in there.
9mm Luger, 380 auto, 9mm Winchester Magnum,
Mm-hmm.
and all those weird 9mm cartridges, the 9mm Makarovs, the
380
Yeah.
auto, yeah. Everything
and
as well as 357, 38 Super,
38
which is something.
Specials, 38 Smith and Wessons.
Yeah, 38 Supers is something that's
38,
really popular in Mexico and South America, and that's
yeah,
for
they've
an
got-
auto pistol.
There are some oddball 38s that we never, like
Mhm.
38 Astra and things like that we never hear about here in the United States.
And they made a second version that would do the same thing for 44, 45, 410. So it was a very versatile, very sort of, if you had to scrounge for ammunition after an apocalyptic event, those two would come in really handy because just about any pistol ammo you could find, except for 22, you could use in one of the two. And there was actually a frame that was built that would swap between the 38 and the 44 cylinder. So you could use 2 different cylinders in the same pistol.
I stand corrected. IMDb, the Internet Movie Firearms Database, you see it, says that it was in fact a Colt Python 327 Magnum.
Oh. Well, Dan, what
I'm
about
sorry
the
you're hurting,
judge?
Dawn.
What about the
Oh.
judge?
Yeah, the judge, the circuit court judge. 45 long Colt and 410
Shotgun.
short shotgun, but not the 2.5 inch, not the 3 inch.
Yeah.
Right.
And the circuit court judge is the rifle version of that pistol.
Ah.
I have
Ross
been told. I have been told by firearms experts that, yeah, it's a good idea, but it doesn't function as well as dedicated pistols to that caliber or shotguns to that caliber would.
Well,
And I'm going, well, if it's one of those bug out situations, it might be worth it for a weight saving. And he goes, nah, not really. It's a poor shotgun, and it's a worse rifle. It's a poor pistol. It's a poor sawed-off shotgun. And I'm just going.
Well, you use the 410 to give them a warning, and the 45 to
Drive your point home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually got a 2-cylinder Derringer chambered in 410 or 45 long Colt. I have a holster for it that I wear when I am out mowing the yard. And since I am in rural Georgia, rattlesnakes are really common. We have actually found discarded snake skins in the front yard.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Andrew Lincoln is 5'10".
5'10". Okay.
5'10". I knew he wasn't that much taller than me.
Wait, how tall are you, John?
5'8".
Wait, I'm taller than you?
I would assume so, because me and Dan are almost the same height. I don't know what it is. I guess it's the internet. Dan looks a lot taller than me.
I'm 5'11".
You're what?
I am taller than you. You just have this big, expressive, imposing personality where on screen you look like Hulk Hogan or something.
What you gonna do?
Look down
I'm
at
not
you.
comment what I'm going to say because it's a green room comment, so I will not do it.
Do what?
What you gonna do, brother?
No, when John and I first met each other at HallowCon's,
we both said the same thing.
We both said the same thing. I thought you'd be taller.
I'm anywhere between 5'11" and 6'1", depending on the gas station I'm walking out of.
Yeah.
So,
I thought
Rich over there, giants overall.
To the door.
I thought Dan was about, just looking at him on the computer, I thought he was about 6 foot tall.
Almost.
And then I've got very wide shoulders and I'm kind of stocky. So I look huge on video camera.
What, even in person, you still have that imposing, dignified persona.
Thank you, sir. How tall are you, Zach?
6'2".
6'2". Zach's huge compared to us.
Yeah, really.
and then we have Richie.
Richie's 6'4". Am I not right?
Yep.
How tall are
At
you,
least
Joe Hoffman?
before issues with my spine, I was 6'4". I might have shrunk a little.
I'm right around Dan's height, 5'11", 6 foot.
And
Yeah, he's not much shorter than I am.
Carl's about 6'2".
Chris has got a good comment. And at one time, our venue used to be a bar that would about as rough as Roadhouse. So it came full circle.
You know, it should be a bar that's as rough as Roadhouse again. That's
Only if Dinky Dalton drinks there.
I mean, No offense.
You remember?
It's
You remember
old-
Dinky Dalton from the Hanna-Barbera cartoons? He was the shortest of the Dalton brothers, and I believe it was Huckleberry Hound went out to arrest him, and turned out he was about 6'17" or something.
I used to work with a guy when they'd ask him, "How tall are you?" He said, "I'm 6'14".
The best reply I've ever heard was a guy that used to be a basketball player and was a former Marine, still a Marine, but retired. And they said, "How tall are you?" He just leaned over and says, "I can see your house from up here."
Yeah, that guy I
So-
was talking about. When he'd walk through a door. I mean, it just instinctively as he goes through the door.
Mm-hmm.
Now, his little brother, Joe may recognize the name, and maybe Rich. Guy's name was Turdell Sands.
Mm-mm.
Sounds familiar, but I can't place it.
Tennessee Titans. That huge guy on Tennessee Titans. Lasted about a season and a half and got hurt.
Mm.
Oh, that's too bad. That is way too bad. Yep.
When Misty and I started dating, I don't even think we might have had our first date. Her sister was driving her through the drive-through at Subway, and leaned over and she's like, "Misty, what do you want?" Misty was kind of heading out in the game. She's like, "A 6-foot steak and cheese," and she just kind of looks at. Yeah, Dusty kind of looks at Misty like, "Huh? Yeah, what did I say? You said a 6-foot steak and cheese. Are you thinking about Rich?" "Yeah." Another fun one is shortly after we got married, she was in the process of letting the anesthesia take hold for a procedure. And the doctor was asking her about our height difference. The mental calculations that Misty was trying to go through for 1'3" was hilarious. Because Misty's only 5'1". So she's sitting there, she's like, what, 18, 24 inches? And I'm like, "No, honey, it's only a little over a foot."
You wish.
Y'all know my son had his appendix out last week.
Mm-hmm.
No,
One of
no, I
those-
didn't know that at all.
Quick in and out hospital. As he was coming to, my dad thought he asked for his phone, and my dad thought it'd be a good idea to, let him have his phone so he can look through. He called his contact list.
The whole thing?
He called the contact list.
How do you even do that?
Hi.
One call at a time.
"Hi, I'm in the hospital." Your
What is
account's
that?
still with us, right? You're not closing your bank account? No. All right. Feel better.
Yeah, he called his contact list.
Oh, Lord. I've
All
known
right.
people to do that with an email, but
I asked
never
my
a
dad-
phone.
I asked my dad, I said, "Did you record it?" He goes, "No." "Why?"
Could have made millions.
Hey, we probably got
Millions,
it in
hell,
print.
it's blackmail for use in the future.
John's probably got it in print. I know Chris does.
What? Oh, hey, we got a good crowd tonight. We got 10, 6
No
and stupid
kidding. How do we
o'clock,
manage that? That's
6 and stupid o'clock, 2 in 6 o'clock, stupid o'clock, you two, 2 and stupid o'clock,
and one of them is not me for a change.
yeah.
I'm one of the 6 watching.
And stupid o'clock Facebook has 2, and HallowCon page has 2
Hey,
or
well,
1.
let's keep going before they sober up and leave.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said anything, Joe. Now they're all going to disappear. All right. What I was getting to earlier before Zach showed up. There have been these supposed whistleblowers with the U.S. government that have come out and said the U.S. government has information about UFOs, aliens. And this one's kind of interesting. It threw me off. I read it this morning, and I'm like, what the heck? Apparently, the United States government has proof that God exists.
Well, how the else do Republicans keep winning elections?
I mean, my birth on Easter Sunday, he has risen. Oddly enough, I really was. I really was born on Easter Sunday. So,
People, I think
I
we may
shall
have gone a
revenge.
little bit too far. And Carl's just going, she's upstairs. I don't have anything to do with it.
Funny thing is, you flash that up and Joe Dog disappeared.
It really
it's at least it's at least 3 hours away.
And Joe Dog has no reason to worry about the cops. He's never done anything even slightly shady.
except that he never returned that Ryder rented truck he rented like 5 years ago.
Hey,
And he's been using it ever since to go to conventions.
he sent it off he filed off the serial numbers. Nobody can prove that. I mean,
we've over the years we've left a bunch of gardening tools out in the yard in the rain and stuff like that, and we did not have a decent pair of hand pruners anymore. They've all rusted blades. So I went and bought a brand new pair today, real nice copycat version of a high dollar German set that we've got. And 2, I've been harping that I can't find good vinegar. I can find distilled white vinegar all day long, 5% vinegar. I cannot find any of the 6% cleaning vinegar that I like to use for cleaning stuff in your house.
I understand.
Turns out, I went to Ace Hardware and I was asking about it. The guy didn't know. He says, "No, I don't think we got any." And I went to Family Dollar. The Dollar General store and Family Dollar usually have it. None of them have it. Family Dollar had some, but it was lavender scented.
I don't know what you're cleaning, but that probably is not aesthetically pleasing to you.
Lavender scented vinegar. Think about it.
I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Considering
Lavender
my only
scented
use,
bleach. Yes.
So I went to Ace Hardware
Lavender scented
today, and
bleach.
I was talking with the guy at Ace Hardware about it, and he asked the guy in the paint section, "You know if we got any cleaning vinegar?" He says, "Yeah, it's over in the weed killer section." Weed killer. Apparently, you can use high acid vinegar to kill weeds.
yeah.
And you can also use it. You can also use it in a pressure washer to clean vinyl siding and wood decks.
Yeah, it does. It would do a wonder on algae and what's that other green crap that grows on vinyl and cloth and
Green
stuff.
crap. Lichen.
Yeah.
Lichen.
Mhm.
Like, anyway,
And not the ones that run with vampires. No.
so anyway, turns out I went and bought a gallon jug of 30% acid by volume vinegar. Distilled white vinegar is 5%. Cleaning
Don't you
vinegar.
dare make pickled eggs for Joe Dog with the 30%.
flaming pickled eggs. Okay.
No, please, no
I
pickled
can
eggs.
read your mind like a magazine, boy. Don't
No,
do it.
it's actually
No,
got some
no.
other stuff.
Hey.
It's actually got other stuff in it, so I would not do that to Jeff.
Actually,
No.
while I was down the hall, I ripped one, and I think I gave myself diaper rash.
You ripped one, it ripped back.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't
It
know,
set off fire alarms for 3 blocks.
you can convert rust on metal to a black oxide primer by soaking it in vinegar for a few days and then soaking it in hydrogen peroxide. And
Sounds like the recipe for Vactan.
doesn't it? But
Yeah,
it'll come out.
seriously.
It'll come out the prettiest black color. And here's what's funny: it'll take paint. So it turns it into an oxide primer. You could spray paint it whatever color you want, and it'll stay.
I used to have back when I first moved out of my mom and dad's and had my own little bitty apartment. I had half a shipping crate upside down with a big piece of sheet metal on top, and the sheet metal was all rusty and everything. And I would, I had little magazines and whatnot just laying around. It was a coffee table. That's all I used it for. Was a coffee table. Had a party one night, and a young lady brought over a bottle of what is it, Cold Duck or Blue Nun or something like that, and spilled her glass of wine on the piece of metal. I had to snatch my copies of Omni and probably Howard the Duck or something out from under there before they got ruined by the wine, and started wiping it all up and cleaning it all up. Just one little glass full. That wine took all the rust off the sheet metal instantly.
Yeah.
It looked like you had gone over it with a grinder and shined it up.
Yeah.
Some wines are so acidic they will clean rust off of metal.
Dan, John, you were talking about 30% vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
Try buying more than a gallon of 50% hydrogen peroxide.
That's not hard.
In amounts larger than a gallon?
Yeah.
No, you'd have to buy it in quarts, but you can get 90% easy.
Yeah, I like the 90%. It works better, but they tend to want your ID, driver's license, and
for those of you who don't know, there are a lot of explosive applications that involve hydrogen peroxide in high concentrations.
Yes.
Yeah,
And as a farmer, I used to be able to buy ammonium nitrate in thousands of pounds at a time. Not anymore.
oh,
Sir, why do you have 24 2 liters of Coca-Cola, a roll of 150 yards worth of Reynolds wrap, and a bunch of hydrogen peroxide? No reason.
No reason. And I'm on my way to go buy some Mentos.
Have y'all seen the post I've been putting up just because they're so hilarious about the guy with all the garden gnomes in his garden?
no.
And it turns out they're all filled with about a pound of tannerite and a bunch of roofing nails.
That's evil. That is strictly evil right there. Anti-personnel mines. On that
And-
note, I'm gonna go get some more gin and juice. I will
Give me one.
return short. No, I can't. Your fax machine doesn't work.
Email it.
Oh, and
Email.
also,
Nobody uses fax machines anymore.
hydrogen peroxide also helped get the first American astronauts to space. Like
do
the
we have
movie.
any rocks? Do we have any rockets that are still running on hydrogen peroxide? Or
All right, we got Zach's attention.
Rocket?
most,
I heard rocket. I'm doing homework at the same time.
yeah, most rockets use liquid oxygen as the oxidizer, but
Yeah.
they used to use hydrogen peroxide. I think it's the tetrazine maneuver thrusters. Do they use hydrogen peroxide, or am I wrong on that?
They use a hypergolic.
Yeah,
They use hydrogen peroxide on Soyuz.
It's purified hydrogen
Oh,
peroxide.
Soyuz.
Soyuz still uses it.
Used to call it Devil's Brew. It was super hydrogen peroxide and kerosene, if I remember correctly. And all you had to do was touch the two of them together. But it was purified kerosene and super hydrogen peroxide.
Well,
And God help you if you got any of that super hydrogen peroxide on your skin.
It killed every bacteria on your skin, all the way to the bone.
Well, folks, I'm actually going to cut out early tonight, so
Oh,
I will see you all next week.
All
You know
right,
what?
thank
I was
you.
going to head out to lose myself, so. So I came early, so I could leave early, and you would really, really, really mess with you guys.
It really is the end of the show.
Oh.
I'll see you guys next week.
Play for them. Good night, Joey.
Say like,
And I'm going to crash. There was John.
Yeah.
You can tell by that eating
Yeah.
grin.
It's. I love that. I love that tune.
It's a new drinking game. How many times does it get played in the show?
That I'd cheat.
Good night, Carl.
Oh wait! Every time I play it, you have to take a drink.
You know,
No.
John, you and I could come up with some interesting things for that. John's here. No, she's gone. No, she's back. No. Let's get together on that one.
my family used to play the redneck drinking game. If you can count to one, you have to take a drink. We played to lose.
There was this game. It was a computer game called "You Don't Know Jack,"
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, Tom.
and it was like a trivia game, and everybody. It's kind of like Jeopardy. Everybody had to buzz in. Okay. And of course, they used to play it a lot at the sci-fi conventions and such.
It still is. There's like
Somebody-
6 versions of it.
Somebody turned it into a drinking game. If you got the question right, you didn't have to drink. But it was a sci-fi convention, so people were literally playing to lose. So, is that my imagination? Or is there just some really odd coloration in the backgrounds going on with the four of us right now?
Yeah.
Green, red, blue, and gold.
Looks gold to you?
Do you want a different color?
More like an off-white, kind of a cream.
Yeah. Kind of a
But then
gold
again, okay, I've got a yellowish LED light, so that's probably what's painting everything
Oh,
goldish.
Zach, I thought I sent you the link. Maybe I didn't. Found on Amazon the black hexagonal squares.
Oh, you totally sent it to me. I ignored it. No. I don't remember what you said with it, but I did see it.
Yeah, that's in my saved list because I'm gonna rearrange my office soon.
Ooh,
Everything's gonna be on that wall, and then I'm gonna cover this wall here with the hexagonal tiles.
they get expensive fast.
Is no longer available. For more help, contact customer service.
Those hexagonal squares are no longer available.
Bitch.
No, we like the studio that we did down in Florida.
Yeah.
That wall is, I want to say we dropped like $300 or something on sound tiles.
How many did you have?
They were 11 across, and then I think 6 down, 7 down. We ordered, I think it was 4 or 5 packs.
Yeah. Well, these are 18 packs for $28.
Okay, that's not bad. Ours were more.
Yeah. These are 12 by 10.
Okay, that's a good size. The ones we got are really dense. I think they're like what you're looking at with the hexagon.
Yeah.
Which is why the ones we got was like a 30 pack or something crazy. I don't remember. We didn't have enough room in the room to work with like the 2-inch fluffy sound tiles that most of the stuff is that are cheaper.
Yeah.
So we had to get as tight to the wall as we could. So, but now that room like just doesn't breathe at all. You can put a fan in there and it's still like just dead. And we only did one wall.
And the air won't move?
Nope. It's even with a fan. You put the fan on and you can literally, like, if you use a vape, you can just watch the vape just go around.
Of course, I just thought about something. May not be a good idea to have those with cats.
They might try to climb.
Because I got a moving blanket tacked to that wall because there was a bad echo. So I, got a moving blanket up there. Every cat since thinks it's fun to see how quick they can get to the top of it.
What's a climbing wall now?
My
Just
brother had
no cats in the studio.
cats, and he had this little music studio that he had built, and he had covered the walls in carpet. He had carpet across the ceiling, carpet down all 4 walls to absorb sound, so that you put the microphones where you wanted to get a really cool sound. But every time they'd go in there and start to play, there'd be cats climbing the wall and the ceiling.
They just didn't know which way was up.
The best recording we ever did for the garage band, it was a house that my guitar player had found styrofoam shipping carton lids, similar to a cross between an egg crate and just a styrofoam ice chest lid. Very thick, had little points reflecting all over. Staple them all, and it's like one of those old-fashioned southern houses that have a 10-foot ceiling. So had the entire walls all the way around, 16-foot wide room, pretty much square, all the way up to the ceiling, covered in styrofoam. And we did, well, it was supposed to be a jam session, and somebody started calling their friends because we sounded so good. Turned into a party. I still have the recording, and we sounded really good, but people kept walking up and trying to talk to people while they were playing. And you're in the middle of a song, and all of a sudden the drummer slows down because somebody's trying to talk to him, and she's cute.
Yeah.
So he pays attention to her, not the song.
Oh, you guys saw my video that I posted to the SOC crew. Just don't. It's in the on the Stupid O'Clock page group. Rich is headed that way. Needless to say, the guy turned his car into an office. Literally.
Okay.
Well, a virtual office.
Oh dear Lord. It's about
Don't
6
do that.
shades of illegal.
There's a version of that someone did, that they did that whole thing and then they were doing a job interview, but they also decided to go through a drive-through at the same time and thought that the interviewer wouldn't catch on that they were also ordering out the window.
That sounds kind of stupid.
Welcome to TikTok.
That's very interesting to try to figure out how to do that, unless you're constantly just muting who you're talking to.
Oh no, he didn't care.
So yeah, my greatest weakness is a quarter pounder with cheese, large fry, vanilla shake, medium.
Yeah, literally.
Oh Lord.
Rich, I'm just trying to figure out how many laws that guy was breaking.
I mean, if he was watching the road, not much. People take phone calls all the time.
There's a
It's
laptop
highly
on-
illegal around here
There's
anymore.
a laptop up on the dash that was actually obscuring his view.
Yeah, well, that should be in the chair. But other than that,
So 3 that I noticed, and that's not counting, speed or distracted driving.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, there's enough misdemeanors right there to make it a felony.
Really?
there's enough right there that the cop's going to look and go, "Oh, look, you got a taillight out. Oh, you're resisting arrest." Yeah.
No, and here's one from True Life. I actually got pulled over leaving a LibertyCon one year because I had 2 GPS units on the dash and a backup camera that I had wired to always be on if I flipped a power switch, not just when I was backing up. Cop pulls me over and claims I'm doing 85 to 90 miles an hour in a 75 zone when I had just barely topped 60 and was about to press a button for the cruise control when I got all the way up to the speed limit. What he wanted was to catch me with a cell phone in my hand because Tennessee had just passed the hands-free only law. And what he saw when he got to the window of the car was 3 different cameras, 2 of which were showing maps, one of which was showing his blue lights in my rear view. And he goes, if he's got 2 different GPSs and a rear view camera, chances are there's a video recorder somewhere in this thing. I'm just going to claim he's doing too fast and check his license and let him go, which is exactly what happened.
Have you seen the video where she was beautiful. She looked like she was in one of those Dodge Chargers. Looked like probably a Hellcat or Challenger, Hellcat, well, Hellcat, whatever it was. But she was gorgeous. This police officer pulled her over. And he walks up and he says, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" She goes, "No, sir, I got no clue." He says, "You don't have your seatbelt on." And she pulled it off her shoulder and says, "This." He said, "I saw you put that on." She says, "Well, I got a video camera right there that shows long before you got behind me, the seatbelt was on." He leans in, looks up at the camera, and the little lights are blinking. He's like, "Well, I'm sorry, I was mistaken. You have a nice day." Just turn around and walk back to the car.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, he was in the wrong. I mean, he was in the wrong to even ask for her ID at that point in time.
Really. Not only was he in the wrong to pull her over, but there was photographic evidence.
Yeah.
John, I am so glad I was not drinking when I saw that post.
What post?
The post about asking the son to seal and label the hamburger, and this is what I got. One of the things says Carol Baskin's husband.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, my son has a sense of humor. I just hope the cops never show up.
You got a 50-50 chance, dude. Just like everybody else that's ever raised teenagers.
Surprised the cops never had to go to my parents' house for my antics. To either defend me from my parents or defend my parents from whatever hell I had wrought.
Hey. And now you are a parent and you are facing the same existential worry.
Not with the current one. The one that's still at home, I don't have that worry. My eldest, I had that issue with him. He thought too much like me. The running gag. So Misty brought my oldest two into the family. The youngest is ours together. My son would do something and it would just be so colossally me. I would just look at my wife and be like, "Are you sure he's not mine? Did we somehow meet in high school and have a hookup and not remember it?" Which wouldn't have happened because neither of us drank back then. So, but anyways, not that we wouldn't have hooked up, just that we wouldn't be so blackout drunk we wouldn't remember it.
No. The best response was, "I don't remember going to a sperm bank and making a deposit."
But my middle child, I love her to death, and sometimes I'm willing to strangle her to prove it.
The middle child syndrome.
She makes so many questionable choices. But Crow, our youngest, so we were playing Genshin Impact earlier. I was playing on PC. She was playing on PS4, and apparently you can cross platforms so that I can play on the PC and co-op with her on the PS4. So we were doing that a little bit earlier, and they kept running this way, then that way, then another way, and I'm like, "You have your mother's sense of direction." And then they'd run in here, and we'd have a conversation, and I'd be like, "You have your father's sense of geeking out on weird shit. Tell me more."
Oh, y'all, you talking about bad sense of direction? We were headed to Huntsville for the showdown in Huntsville. She says, "Since we're so close down here, can we run up to Gatlinburg and get pancake breakfast?"
Wait a minute. Even with my elementary navigational skills,
as Rich goes to Google Maps,
if you're headed to Huntsville, Gatlinburg is 5 hours drive away.
The other direction.
The opposite direction. Yes.
has
If you're in Chattanooga and you want to go to Gatlinburg for breakfast, that's an all-day trip.
yeah, you can get back by 4.
Yeah, if you eat fast.
4 hours and 7 minutes.
What, from Huntsville to Gatlinburg?
Huntsville, Alabama to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, according to Google Maps, should be 4 hours and 7 minutes. But then again,
One
that's
way.
not
Yeah,
one way. That's not counting
that's a bit like saying
traffic.
that's a bit like saying you can get through Atlanta on 285 in 30 minutes.
Yeah, on Sunday morning at 3 a.m.
If they close the road and they're filming a movie,
and you're part of the movie.
and you're part of it. You know, have you seen the movie Baby Driver?
I've seen the trailers for it.
First
I've
10 minutes, you can go to YouTube and look it up. It's a Baby Driver bank robbery. And the first 10 minutes of this movie is awesome. But totally, if you've ever been through Atlanta during banking hours on 285, there is no way that this getaway driver could do what they showed in the movie.
It's pretty much a...
And it was filmed in Atlanta, too.
It was filmed in Atlanta on the real roads. And it's just like, it's like anybody that's ever lived or been through Atlanta. It's like, no friggin' way.
Is it 6 lanes one way or 8 lanes one way nowadays?
No, it's kind of like an 8-lane parking lot.
Well, yes, that's a given. It's 285. You're doing 75 miles an hour for 100 yards, and then you screech to a halt because somebody in the diamond lane remembered that they have to make a turn at this exit and cuts across 6 lanes of traffic with no turn signal.
It kills me that the federal government requires large cities to have those HOV lanes. When they're, up north, I can see it. Down south, they really don't need those damn things.
Nashville, no. Atlanta, yeah.
No, you can't use, they actually built roads through Atlanta just for HOV. And you can't use them worth a damn because they don't go where you want to go.
Well, and nobody's going to pay $1.75 to drive from, what is it, Kennesaw to the south end of Atlanta.
Yeah, and wasn't there a bus that got in the diamond lane and went up the wrong exit and wound up catching extreme air and crashing into someplace a bus should not have been at that particular velocity from that particular altitude? Lots of people got hurt. Several people got killed. It was a decade ago or so. 285 is one of those roads where I go, it would be nice if people actually knew how to drive and weren't trying to do 75 and a 55 or 75 and a 45. I noticed last time that I was brave enough to dare 285, they actually had digital speed limit signs so that they could change the speed limit according to the time of day,
And
whether
traffic.
it was rush hour or not. And that was the main reason why I said, if I'm going to Dalton or Chattanooga, I'm going to turn off on Highway 20 and go through every little town that exists between here in North Georgia in order to avoid getting on 285 and winding up as a victim of somebody else's stupidity.
Oh, Rich, look up how to get from Huntsville to Atlanta. And look at them on a map. You either have to go to Birmingham and across or up to Chattanooga and down. And the Chattanooga route is cheaper. Uh-oh. Somebody's getting sleepy.
A little bit.
Oh,
I've been running
Zach.
off Eastern time zone, so even back being home.
Which time
And you're
zone
on
do you
what,
live
Mountain
in?
Time?
Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm starting my day at like 5, but then staying up as if I'm in Mountain. So
Zach,
Hey,
we will not be offended if you're not off. Can't promise you Joe Dog won't make fun of you. But we
he'll
will
just let the
also not.
stream keep running. You'll end the show
Yeah,
and just leave it.
everyone else will make fun of you, but Dan can't.
Oh hell no! I go to sleep at well, um, drop of a hat.
Hold on, let me find it. Dan has woken up and seen this on the screen many times.
Joe Dog has appeared at like 3 a.m. when I have left this world for one of the imaginary ones inside my head while I snore, and left the program running, and everybody else goes, "He'll be all right. He'll be all right. Let's just leave."
Dad or Chris will call me and says, Dan fell asleep again.
Well, if you do it on Twitch, you get paid more for doing that.
What, sleeping on stream?
I could get paid for sleeping on Twitch?
Oh, yeah, it's a whole thing. You set up like alarms and stuff that people can control, so the more they give, the more like torture they can do to you.
And the problem
challenge accepted.
Hey, we have played air raid sirens.
Oh, that'd go off.
Do what?
That would go well on Twitch.
Yeah. Dan never moved.
Yeah.
What all did we did the emergency?
We played the alarm from the movie The Purge. We played nuclear
explosions.
Nuclear alert sirens and air raid sirens. I played the CRAM siren for the counter rocket artillery and mortar gun. For those of you who have never heard one fire, it's a 20 millimeter Gatling gun firing about 4,000 rounds a minute. And before it fires, they normally launch a siren. So you go, wah, 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 wah. And you see 1,000 tracers. And then you see 1,000 sparklers.
And Dan never flinched.
There are two things. When I fall asleep on camera, there are two things, and two things alone, that can wake me up.
In the morning.
One is my bladder. The other is a sexy woman's voice going, Dan, wake up. And that works exceptionally well. Yes. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Donna. Y'all have both used that method to my embarrassment and woken me up. But, oh, yeah, 810 Warthog Cannon. Yeah, when I was a child, both of my grandmothers lived very, very close to railroad tracks. And I would sleep through trains going by 8 foot away from the house. and about 6 foot uphill. Did not cause me to even roll over. And I guess there's a third one. My alarm for my cell phone would wake me up no matter what time of day it happened to be if I was asleep, because I've been programmed to use that instead of an alarm clock for the last 8 or 10 years. Lindsay got tired of the normal alarm clock. When it went off, I go and wake up, and she thought that's going to give him a heart attack one day. We're going to have to find something different, and we found an alarm sound on the cell phone that was much less earth shattering to my psyche, and that's what I use now, and it works. It works at conventions when I got to get up and be at the dining room for my complimentary breakfast, or go out to a restaurant, or just get up in time for a panel that I've got to be on. But
Hey, Joe,
Yeah.
bring it up for me.
All right, it's up.
Those things are cool.
I couldn't find the good one.
G's still there? There he is. Yeah. That's the one.
You know, it's funny how people will ask me nowadays why I'm not thrilled about fireworks on the 4th of July.
They shoot the C-Rams off.
because you've seen professional grade fireworks in your lifetime.
Oh,
Oh Lord. Yep.
Well,
And they make
joke
fun of me because I'm so hard to wake up when I
There's
doze
that
off
joke I
online.
posted the other day on Stupid O'Clock about unless you're going to set fire to the entire fireworks factory, you're not going to impress me.
I wonder.
I have a friend who was former EOD for the Navy, and then worked for a company that did professional displays for, like, the Chicago White Sox and stuff like that, and city celebrations and stuff like that. He's like, I don't feel like lighting fireworks on the 4th anymore. It just seems like another day at the office.
Really?
Dan,
Yes.
your show's going to start in about 30 minutes.
Well, no shit, Sherlock.
I just got the notification.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, he's going to start the show now. No, God.
No, fuck, I ain't.
Well,
Sorry. Just got Joe demonetized, didn't I? Sorry.
No, it's far enough in. It's the first 7 seconds that they freak out about. Or 37 seconds.
I thought it was first 3 minutes. First 3 minutes and last 3 minutes.
We're way beyond both of those.
That's why I've got such a long outro. And a long intro. Zach's looking at, I can see he goes,
It got me thinking about something. We're redoing all of our intros and outros right now, so
Yeah, yeah, our intro is how long is that thing? Good grief. 3 minutes and 19 seconds.
When even Joe thinks it's too long.
Oh, somebody posted after the show, that intro's too damn long. Yeah, Rich remembers that one.
You think?
We came on, we played the intro, we came on. I called them by name, said, if you think our intro's too long, watch this. I played the whole thing again.
I think I was on that one, or I was at least watching it.
I'm petty. Well, I'm not petty, but you get petty with me. I take it to an
Joe,
art form.
Joe, I double dog dare you to do a 2-hour show one day of nothing but
The intro.
Clock intro on a loop for 2 hours.
Oh, yeah, since they have the loop feature now, I could.
You mean we could put almost the end of the show thing on an endless loop? I mean, it's only 7 seconds, but
Yeah, well, it'd probably roll into copyright then. Uh-oh, what's Dan got to share?
I'm wondering if it'll work.
Uh-oh.
What's this do? It will.
Okay, push the button, Dan, because I pushed the button.
I'm trying.
Pull the lever, Kronk. Roll the lever.
Okay, yeah, I've got to go back to the damn original screen and go.
And start it.
And then I've got to come back here and unshare.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
that's entirely too convoluted.
Yeah. Did y'all know there's now a 24/7 Godzilla channel on Pluto TV?
Where do I sign and how much does it cost?
Pluto is free.
Dan, I've got the Godzilla roar just as an audio file.
I do too somewhere, but
I know where mine is.
They've also got a 24/7 Stargate channel, 2 Star Trek channels. Just the Star Trek channel runs mostly next gen, but they'll run original series, and then I think what's it called? More Star Trek?
I think so. The one that runs Voyager and some DS9?
Yeah.
I believe it's more Star Trek, yeah.
And then a 24-hour Doctor Who, but it's the classic
Doctor Who. They've also got the Happy Days channel, which is like nothing but Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley. Actually, I take that back. I think there might be some Mork and Mindy on there too.
Yeah. And then there's the
What about Joni and Shotzi?
You see this, Joe Dog?
Yeah. Is that the...
That's the one that's coming to HallowCon.
All right. I don't have any...
It has every episode of Doctor Who that still exists from 1963 on. It has every Star Trek of every iteration. It has shall we say 4 terabytes of TV shows and cartoons, and well, I didn't include the comic books because that would take a special program to read them. This is the scaled down version of my archive. This does not have everything, but it has just the portable fan stuff that I'm interested in. There will be no Stargate because that didn't float my boat. I don't know whether or not it actually has the stuff from Firefly because I was part of the generation that watched that out of order, and it kind of did not.
Didn't fly.
It didn't go well because it was out of order. If I'd watched it in order, I probably would have been fascinated from the very first. It's an excellent show, but it didn't make any damn sense in the way
They
that
aired
I
it out of
presented
order?
it to. They aired it out of order.
Yeah.
What?
When it originally
And
came out, they didn't air it in
The
the right order.
network said, "Hey, what's the stupidest thing we can do to this? Oh, we'll air it out of order."
Like episode 4, they aired as the second episode. I think.
Who, what, why, how, who needs to be
The pilot
fired?
was the 5th
Fox.
episode there.
Yeah, the intro
Fox.
was the 5th episode. That was shown to the general public.
Maybe Train Job was the first one, which I believe is supposed to be the 4th. But yeah, it's they did awkward stuff. I kind of dug it because I was still recording things on VHS back then, so I would record that and John Doe. I was so pissed that John Doe never got a second season.
I actually could try and find the. Oh no, that's on floppy disk. That's not even on a DVD. I have that recorded several times.
Dan has Doctor Who on punch cards.
I know I've got it backed up on tape somewhere.
He's a card flipping son of a bitch. Let me tell you.
No. And
There's a cave under his house that it's all in pictographs.
Yeah, Adam West is trying to sue me for stealing the Bat computer. Nobody was using it.
Oh, that reminded me when you said that in Strange New World, Captain Pike handed a file to somebody. It was modified a little bit, but it was the little computer cards.
Oh, from the original series?
Yeah.
The little solid blocks of plastic.
Yeah, that's what it was. But it was clear. It was translucent.
I was watching something the other day with the Legend of the Superheroes, and some guy was doing a critique on it, and I remember that when that aired back in the day. They tried to do a live action Super Friends. It was bad.
Well, the script was bad. The costumes were not much better, but
a different actor than the previous two Shazams.
The actors did the best they could with what they were handed.
Wonder Woman was still on TV, so they couldn't use her in it. Superman was just hitting theaters, so they couldn't use him in it. So it had your Adam West and Burt Ward, Batman and Robin, and everything was so on the cheap. Green Lantern would point his ring at himself, and green light would suffuse him, and he would disappear, and then he'd appear wherever the hell he wanted to go. The Flash, everything showing his powers was, showing him in a running position, stopping the camera. He leaves, turning the camera back on and blasting a wind cannon like he ran away real quick and caused an air draft. So bad it's not even funny.
Not even as good as the John Wesley Shipp version back in the 90s.
Is that the one that had I just drew a blank on his damn name.
David
Riddler.
Ogden Spears says, Frank Gorshin, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And then there was another one that they did that had Martian Manhunter, where, if I remember correctly, David Ogden Steers was Martian Manhunter.
Yes.
It was a completely different show, but they were still trying to do the same kind of thing where they're trying to do live action Super Friends.
Oh, there was actually a version of all of that done on the format of Dean Martin's Celebrity Roast, which failed utterly, just absolutely, just God. I wish I could scrub my memory of having seen that one.
Thank
But
you,
no.
Justin, for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Hey, yeah.
We're here every Thursday night at 9 o'clock and Saturdays at 11. Drop in, chat with us. Who knows? You may end up on the show one time and get stuck.
And never be allowed to leave.
What's the matter, Richie? Are the chains too tight?
Yeah.
This just in.
Yeah, we're international absconders now.
Really?
We've been international for a long time.
No. We're international absconders of panel. Zach. He's a Canuck.
Look. We
just needed to leave out some Tim Hortons and some maple syrup, eh?
I'm not your buddy, pal.
We link this to Apelian,
I'm not your pal, man.
Which has viewers from 97 different countries.
Show that again.
This is Timbit cereal from Tim Hortons. I will not be eating it because, yes, this is very old, but...
Are those molecular symbols or are those merely flags on the front cover?
It's Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, they came in...
Well, okay. As long as it doesn't break the seal, it'll be good for another 10,000 years.
Oh, no, they're open. They came in chocolate.
5,000 years.
And they came in... Oh, that's French. Birthday cake.
Came in chocolate and I surrender. French.
Gâteau de fat.
What'd you call me?
A cat at the fair. Wait a minute. My French is really rusty. The last two words were at the fair, but...
The birthday cake was good. The chocolate was bad. The syrup's upstairs.
Does anybody remember the TV show Space Rangers?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Didn't like it, but I remember
it. Really? Except that it's another one of those where they didn't put any money into the special effects. So
like Space Aboard Neon?
Yeah, it's same problem with that one. It was a good idea with decent stories and decent writing and some decent acting, but they just it's like seeing the guy running around with the ice cream.
I remember the show.
Now, I remember a show, Channel 46 in Atlanta ran it. It was a Japanese show about a family that turned into rocket ships.
Space Giants.
Is that what it is?
Yes. With Goldar, Silvar, and I can't remember their child's name.
Yeah, that's it.
Was that part of the
I
Ultraman
the boy was Nico.
Shows?
Yeah, she up around Chicago area. It alternated Spectreman, Ultraman, and Space Giants. So they had run one, and then as soon as they're done with the entire series run, they would start the other, and then they would just loop like that. There might have been one other one, but the predecessor of all those old Saban shows. Now the Internet Archive has Space
That's it.
Giants. Yes.
Yes, I just watched a retrospective on that just the other day, actually.
And who was the old man?
He was
The grandfather, or
a wizard type
I can neither
wise man
confirm nor
from
deny.
from their home planet.
Now, Nickelodeon used to show this thing called the Tomorrow People.
Yes, that's a great British show.
It's
was
it's kind of like Doctor Who light.
it was more like Mission Impossible, actually.
You know, they actually should have tied that in with Torchwood. That would have really been cool. Have a Doctor
It
Who.
never occurred
Torchwood
to them,
Tomorrow
but that
People.
if it had done and they could get the rights, it would have been a good combination.
It was like a cross between Doctor Who and the Bugaloos. I think I broke Dan.
No, I'm just saying there wasn't that much corn syrup involved.
Rich is looking at. Looks like he's looking at my grandfather clock back there.
Oh, I've been watching it for a bit. We that boring?
No, it's running Stargate. Oh, crap.
Carefully, you got a copyright claim.
It's not running, period, Joe.
Yeah. I forgot to rewind it last week.
You know, I meant to
Be
bring this
kind,
up.
rewind.
I meant to bring this up on a couple shows and just completely forgot about it. Do you remember the TV show Project Blue Book?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Flying
And then
saucers always explained as something ordinary.
That's another one that I got to stay up late and watch.
Yeah, well, they've got
Late? It was on at 8:00.
I was 5.
Okay, I'll accept that.
Well, they've done a remake of it, and it's horrible.
Yes. That's
Wasn't one of the guys from Emergency the
I think so, but I don't. What? Hang on a minute. Let me IMDb the hell out of it here.
Kent McCord or something like that?
Project. Ooh. Project Blue. No, it's 2019. There, 2016.
No, this is
This
70.
Oh, there we go. Project UFO. The 78 version.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, sorry. Space Giants isn't on Internet Archive. It's on YouTube.
Oh, they're on YouTube. Okay. All of them or some of them or
Who knows? I've actually got a DVD with all of the 60s version of Ultraman. And it does the English dubs as well as pure Japanese. So naturally, I watch the English dubs because I want to understand what people are saying. I don't speak Japanese. My second oldest daughter is now cussing me a blue streak because she learned Japanese in order to be able to watch her favorite cartoons, anime, whatever else the darn thing is, in the original without being dubbed. And I'm going, I ain't got time for that shit. I'm already 65. I can't live long enough to learn Japanese too.
oh my God.
Yes, dear.
That came up on my Fire Stick.
Deep Throat Part 3.
I want to know what my kids are watching.
I believe you've got an explanation for that already.
That would explain why your stick might be on fire. Sorry, had to go there.
And it's sponsored, so it's paid to be up there. I don't know.
I do not want to know who the sponsor is.
I'm not clicking it. No.
I'm
You'll click
guessing
it once the show's over.
I'm
No.
guessing it's either Kleenex or some sort of hand lotion.
Brought to you by Jergens Hand Lotion.
And Puffs Plus.
You know, Joe, if you quit paying attention to anything but the show, these moments would not happen.
Yeah, well,
I cannot find Project Blue Book. I found Project Blue or Project UFO, which was the 78, 79 thing.
Yeah.
That's about the right time.
Created by Jack Webb.
That was
distinctly
the actual title.
I distinctly remember it being called Project Blue Book, but I'm not seeing
But
it.
they mentioned Project Blue Book at the end.
Yeah.
No. It came on CBS as Project Blue Book.
It came on our network television as Project UFO. Not to be confused with the Jerry Anderson show UFO, which was infinitely better. Had a lot bigger budget.
33 episodes of the Space Giants on YouTube at the link in the private chat. Although I think it doesn't show episode 2, but I think episode 1 and 2 are two-parter that they just strung together.
Sounds
and
like
then,
it.
Because it's episode 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up through 33. So the only one missing is 2. So knowing how shows were done up back in the 60s and 70s as far as stuff like that goes, and I'm thinking that's probably the method behind the madness.
This is Jonathan Dickerson's page.
Yeah, so if you go to the videos on that page, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, the first videos at the very bottom. So all of this oldest stuff is Space Giants. And then right after Space Giants is Super Friends Suck. But again, it's YouTube, so it's not like suck like was showing on your Fire Stick there. Different kind of suck.
Okay.
And on Netflix, for fans of the original 60s version of Ultraman, there are 4 seasons of animated Ultraman tie-in, same characters, but long after the original live series.
And I've watched the first few episodes.
They are excellent.
Awesome.
They're beautiful. They're much better than the animated Godzilla movies that I cannot watch because in the first 30 seconds there are more cuss words in that than there are in your usual nervous breakdown by a serial killer.
All right. I do have some breaking news.
Yeah, it's 4 minutes till.
Yeah, the unbeaten Chattanooga FC football club shuts out Michigan Stars in NISA semifinals rematch. Looks like we're going to have another championship. tell you what, y'all talk. I'm going to go do something so I can shut the show out. 'Cause I can't wait that.
That would have made a whole lot more sense if your voice hadn't went all robot. Evidently, we're on our own until he comes back, and it's only 3 minutes till. So if he doesn't come back in time, John's going to have
we
to run the
think of
end
something-
credits.
We have to think of something interesting to say until Joe gets back, right?
I'm brining pickles.
Okay.
I've actually got a jar of brine with my cucumber pickles in it, so I'm actually brining pickles.
Well, what else do you make? No, I'm not going to ask that question. I'm not going to ask what else can you make pickles out of besides cucumbers, because I live in the South. I know exactly what else you can make.
Okra,
Pickles out of.
beets, cat.
Sausage,
Neighbors,
okra, eggs,
Possum.
peppers,
Small
the
car
list
parts.
is not only endless, but some of
watermelon.
it is homicidal.
Pickled watermelon? That
Watermelon.
does not sound.
Yeah, they do that.
Sweet
And
pickle.
usually it's the watermelon rind,
Yeah.
not the
They take the watermelon. You know how you eat the red part and leave the white and the green skin? They shave the skin off of it and then cut up the white part and pickle it. And it's actually very candy-like. So it's pretty good.
Yeah. And
But okay, is a salty
No.
vinegary brine, or is it a different kind of brine?
It's sweet.
it's
sweet
like bread.
cinnamon.
It's
like
like
bread and
bread
butter
and butter pickles. Yeah. It's
I get the distinct feeling that Rich does not know what a bread and butter pickle is.
No, I know what bread and butter pickles are, and I find them vile and disgusting.
Say goodnight, everybody. We're already into dance time.
Good night, everybody.
good night, everybody.
Thanks for showing up, Zach. Thanks for showing up, Don.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. All right, we're out of here. We'll see everybody Thursday night. Good
Everybody
night.
hang on. We're leaving.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand, and touched the face of God.
I can't do it. My tummy hurt.